every year when I come over, when the trees go up, I go out and I walk the whole thing just to see who else is there, and I end up knowing almost everybody that's there, and that reminds me, because other than that, when would you ever think about them? When would they ever? It's people I grew up that were adults when I was going to school, and a lot of them, you know, were retailers or businessmen in Worcester, and so it's real interesting to see who has thought enough of their relatives to do a tree.
I think it's important to support our local hospital. We're fortunate to have Worcester Community Hospital.
Well, the auxiliary was created to support the hospital and its mission, and they do quite a number of very valuable things that support the hospital that we might not be able to afford to do.
Christmas is a hard time of year to be without family. I chose my parents because I miss them both a great deal.
When my parents both passed away in 2009, we didn't even think about it. It was just a natural thing to do to add them. Nothing is more visible than the trees. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do, and they're all good causes. There's a lot of very worthy things in town to do. I think this is one way that it becomes a lot more visible.
And I think people also don't hesitate to do it in honor of, especially kids. Can you imagine when our grandson Henry gets a little bit older and he comes over here and looks and finds a tree with his name on it? It's a very special time.
Hi, I'm Tom Weckeser, President of the Worcester Community Hospital Auxiliary. Welcome. Thanks for watching. Welcome to the annual Tree of Love tree lighting ceremony. During the holiday season, you may notice that the hospital grounds are very beautiful. The lighted trees are a hallmark of tradition of our hospital. The project was created by the auxiliary in the mid-1980s, and part of our mission is to support the hospital. All funds raised by the auxiliary are used to sponsor such projects as valet parking, mammograms, vans for patient transportation, and scholarships for graduating seniors throughout Wayne County.
In memory of Joan C. Alexander, Rick Alexander, Aaron Lotus, by Shar Alexander. In honor of all veterans, first aid responders, all dogs and cats, by AC Splitbolt Incorporated. In memory of Dawn Maybaugh, by Advanced Practice RNs. In memory of John Arnold Jr., Elvira Tomasetti, Vincent Tomasetti, by Irene Arnold. In memory of Terry Falb, Ruth and Earl Baker, by Ken and Linda Baker. In memory of Ella Faith Young, by Mommy, Emma, Ethan, Grandpa and Grandma Bainey, aunts, uncles, and cousins. Pain Management Institute, by A. Harris Basali, MD. In memory of Thomas Becker, Adele Becker, by Jim and Julie Becker and Tom and Karen Becker. In honor of Paul Beagle, Faye Beagle, by the Beagle family. In memory of Our Loved Ones, by Bob and Christy Beekler. In memory of Jean Ann Bunny Bogner, Richard B. Dick Bogner, Robert E. Bob Bogner, by Bogner Construction Company. In honor of Emma Borman and Carter Borman, by Chad and Sarah Borman. In memory of Charlie Heinrich, by Scott and Susan Boys. In memory of Norma Ramsire, by Scott and Susan Boys. In memory of Virgil Boys, by Scott and Susan Boys. In memory of David Braille by Margot E. Braille. In memory of David R. Braille by Braille Law Office. In memory of Darrell Brooks by Dana and Tammy Brooks. In memory of James H. Brown by Yvonne Brown. In memory of Marianne and Vern T. Calhoun, William Calhoun by Bob and Kathy Calhoun. In memory of Robert Campanell, Teresa Jean Campanell, Virginia Mahan Bedingfield by Lisa Campanell Comara. In honor of Marlon Taylor's retirement by Carla, Cindy, Deb, Marcia, and Maria. In memory of B.B. Carmody by Todd and Pat Carmody. In memory of T.J. Catanzarite, Dick Winthrow, Tony Catanzarite by Tom and Laura Catanzarite. In memory of Dr. Frank Siebel II by Robert, Bernadette, Daniel, Matthew, and Elizabeth Siebel. In memory of Martin, Mamie, and John McCarthy by Robert, Bernadette, Daniel, Matthew, and Elizabeth Siebel. In memory of Charlie Henrik by Ryan Chenevy. In honor of Dan and Stephanie Ciccarelli by Anne-Marie Ciccarelli and Charles Boulware. In honor of Ed and Mary Boulware by Anne-Marie Ciccarelli and Charles Boulware. In memory of Larry and Joanne Funk by their children and grandchildren. In memory of Charles F. Finn by Wanda Christopher Finn. In honor of Bennett Paul Crowley by Ruth and Paul Crowley. In memory of Lita Kick by your daughters Connie, Diane, and Linda. In memory of Brett Deffabaugh, Jeannie Deffabaugh Morris, Willard Bill First by Deborah Deffabaugh. In memory of Betty Doherty by Charles R. Doherty. In honor of Carol, Christy, Carla, and Karen by Charles R. Doherty. In memory of Lynn Drummer McClure by Jean Drummer and Bob Drummer. In memory of Rick Mace, Larry Evans, Ashley Mace by Rose Evans. In honor of Those We Lost in 2020 by Diane Everidge. In memory of John Falkenberg, Jean and Sharon Koser by Scott and Lisa Falkenberg. In memory of the Alexo family, the Farster family by Dan and Helen Farster. In memory of Jane F. Bohazi, Joseph Bohazi, Janie Bohazi by Janine Fisher. In memory of Carly Wurstler, Larry Wurstler, Judy Fichter by Steve and Ruth Fichter. In memory of All of the Babies Lost by Forget-Me-Not Baskets Incorporated. In memory of Harold Fowler by Lois and Family. In memory of Donald Hirschberger by Joey and Jessica Franklin and Family. In memory of Calvin Fravel by John and Helen Fravel. In memory of Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy F. Furno by Family. In memory of Pat Steiner, Carla Fonte by Eric and Lisa Gosser. In memory of Sandy Pipes by Golden Girls Rose, Sophie, and Blanche. In memory of Ross and Cynthia Gooch by Mark Gooch. In memory of Carol Mason by Summer Holmes Mason. In memory of Doug Ickes by Sarah Ickes. In memory of Jean Jeffries and Kathy Fletchler. by the Jeffries family. In memory of Donna Jones, Etta Carney, John Carney, by the Jones family. In memory of John Jordan, Doug Jordan, by Dottie Jordan, Barb and Tony, Trey, and Marcy. In memory of Dorothy H. Cook and Minnie C. Kane, by Jack and Carol Kane. In memory of Mark A. Kuiper, by Charlie and Joan Kuiper and family. In memory of Joseph Kirchner, Susanna Kirchner, Zoid Stair, and June Stair, by Mabel and Dr. Lauren Kirchner. In memory of Mary Bell Kleiss, Jane Worster, by Don and Gail Kleiss. In memory of John A. Kirchbaum, by Carla and C.J. Kirchbaum, Kevin and Jackie Lawson. In memory of Susan Brocker, Robin Stanford, Therm and Joe Jester, by Misty Lee. In memory of Milton and Aldine Long, by Greg, Kathy, and Matt Long. In memory of Ralph and Grace Jones, by Kathy, Greg, and Matt Long. In honor of Henry Matthew Long, by Kathy and Greg Long. In memory of Julius Halterman, by Matthew Long, Lynette Matson. In memory of Leonard Matson, by Matthew Long, Lynette Matson. Mayor's Veterinary Clinic. In memory of Andrew Mathis, by Tina, Eric, and Bryce Mathis. In memory of Jerry McDaniel, William and Helen Albert, Bill Albert, by the McDaniel family. In memory of Vincent C. Ward, Helen Glenn Ward, Barbara Ward McGraw, by the McGraw family. In honor of Hasenstab Architects Incorporated, by Bob Medzuk Hasenstab Architects. In memory of Thomas E. Stone, Eric Mendenhall Stone, by Penny Mendenhall Stone. In memory of Carolyn Weeman, by Rod and Linda Morrison. In memory of Ohio's Hospice Life Care Patients, by Ohio's Hospice Life Care. In memory of Mr. and Mrs. Alvin Durr, Mr. and Mrs. Ralph Parker, Mr. Dick A. Parker, by Bonnie Parker. In memory of David Briggs and David Braille, by Sarah L. Patton. In honor of Margot Braille, by Sarah L. Patton. In honor of the Petticelli family, by Gabriel Petticelli, M.D. In memory of Wanda Spencer, Donna Flew, Carly Adkins, by Neil and Paula Flew. In memory of Harold Reddick, by the Reddick family. In honor of Ruby Reddick, by the Reddick family. In memory of Dwight Ramey, by Julia Ramey and family. In memory of William and Beulah Bechtel, by Julia Ramey and family. In memory of Scott Tillinghast families, Rincon Gonzalez families, by Angela Rincon and Frank Tillinghast. In memory of Bill and Max Rod, Gertrude Sarah Rod, Jean Bigler, Audrey Rod, Teresa Harris, by Al Rod. In memory of Charlotte and Edward Evans, Ruth Karen Evans, Alan and Dan Evans, Charlotte M. Rod, by Al Rod. In memory of Margaret and Grant Rose, by Pam and John Rose. In memory of Clarence F. Sands, Ruth A. Sands, Patricia S. Sands, by Tommy Sands. In memory of Reed Webster, by Schmitz Wortman and Testraki Neptune. In memory of Paul Shepard, Tyndall Hewitt, by Candace Shepard. In memory of Rose Wharton, Edith Shingleton, Donna Conaway, by Jessica Shepard. In memory of Francis W. Tomasetti, Peggy Tomasetti, Harry Sherman, by Craig and Carol Sherman. In memory of Pat L. and John A. Reed, by Carolyn and William Sharon. In memory of Eleanor L. and Robert L. Sharon, by Carolyn and William Sharon. In memory of Harry Webb, Grace Shoup, by Mark and Kristen Shoup. In memory of Krista Singer Scharer, by Ronald and Marla Singer. In honor of Irene Winner, by Jim and Sue Smale. In memory of Richard C. Rudy, by Jim and Sue Smale. In memory of John Zollinger, Robert Steiner, by Deborah Steiner. In honor of Jack Crafton, by Stephanie and Beth. In memory of Paul Beaver and Verla Beaver, by Stephanie and Beth. In honor of Elena M. Streeter and Sophia Streeter, by Mary Alice Streeter. In memory of John G. Streeter, by Mary Alice Streeter. In memory of Rebecca Stull, by Emerson Stull, Andrea and Don Bainey, Johanna and Tyler Smith, and family. In memory of John and Inez Tomasetti, by Harry and Vanessa Tomasetti. In memory of Jose Acevedo, Lorene Amos Franks, Willie Melendez, Tito Aponte, by Harry and Vanessa Tomasetti. In memory of Marilyn Trent, Chester Lehman, by Kevin and Marcia Trent. In memory of Mitch Wonnett, by Pat Wonnett. In memory of Karen Sue Dalrymple, by Pat Wonnett and Dottie Schmidt. In memory of Bob and Lois Cross, by Bertie and Tom Weckesser. In memory of Harry and Betty Weckesser, by Bertie and Tom Weckesser. In memory of Paul E. Williams, by Worcester Motorways, Inc. In memory of David Braille, by Robin Weisner and Barry Romick. In memory of Dick and Etta Yenny, Terry D. Yenny, by Rick J. and Rob Yenny, Lori Yenny, Schmidt families. In memory of Shirley L. Yund, by Ed, Jeff, Mike and Suzanne Yund, Carol, Jim, and James Mills, Jennifer, Joe, and Piper Connolly. In memory of Smeek, a Worcester Community Hospital Paws to Pet of 11 years, by Brenda Ziegler and Stephen Doyle. In honor of Glenn E. Zimmerman, by Janet Zimmerman.
The year is nearly over. The Christmas lights are hung all over the square, and we're all feeling older. We're huddled inside waiting for the fog to clear, and all our thanks is given, but there's still something missing. Is there an end to this season inside? We wonder, will there be snow on Christmas? Will harvest fields turn into seas of white? But it's so high a weather, so we just hold on to hope until Christmas Eve night. We keep holding on to hope until Christmas Eve night. The air is getting colder. They're handing out candy canes at the bank downtown. We used to stand much closer. Now distance seems to follow us all around. Bundled in wool and cotton, what's normal long forgotten. Is there an end to this season inside? And we wonder, will there be snow on Christmas? Will harvest fields turn into seas of white? But it's so high a weather, so we just hold on to hope until Christmas Eve night. We keep holding on to hope until Christmas Eve night. And all our things is given, but there's still something missing. What's the point to all this fuss that we make? It's so much more than presents, and snow is not the essence of what familiar carols celebrate. They tell us there's always hope at Christmas. The light of the world was born that holy night. No matter what the weather, you have to hold on to hope as you carry the light. So keep holding on to hope as you keep holding on to hope. You got to carry, just hold on to the hope of Christmas tonight.
And at this time, I'd like to have special thanks to the Romick Foundation, Pine Tree Holdings Incorporated, Keith and Mary Metz, and MCTV for hosting this. Thank you. Tom?
Okay. The Worcester Community Hospital Auxiliary is always looking for people that want to volunteer and help out. It is a very worthwhile project, and just like to encourage you to consider that. And also, we'd like to encourage you to come up and walk around the outside of the hospital and look at the trees and the plaques and the people that we are remembering and honoring. And from all of us, we say Merry Christmas and thanks for watching.